everyone. Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, 3-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils. And you're listening to the Uncle Puckers New Jersey Devils podcast. Let's go, Devils!
Hey, everybody. Yo, yo, yo. We are the Uncle Puckers, Chris, Bobby, and Tim. Tim, were you just talking about your skincare routine? What exactly do you do in your skincare routine?
Oh, good. Come on. All right. It's 2025. I sometimes get some eye bags, so we got a show to do. I gotta look my best, So I have a little under eye cream to reduce the puffiness. I've been sleeping like shit.
A little bit.
Yeah. I've been sleeping like shit recently. I played against this kid last night. He's like,
Chris, you remember when Tim was a hockey player?
I do. Now he's a fucking makeup artist, apparently.
I need a makeup artist. Hey, I'm in the entertainment business now, Chris. Speaking of playing hockey, I did have a game last night. I played against this kid. He's like 19 years old.
Did he tell you that you had bags under your eyes and the shell you were wearing made your ass look fat?
He called me an old man, which kind of was just like a fucking dagger. But he still plays in college. I think he plays for like Towson University, which is down here. It's like ACHA, which is kind of like a sort of a Division 3-ish, 2-ish club type of level. I don't know. He was pretty good skater, but the way he skates, and this is where I wanted to go with the story, is the way these kids skate these days is a whole other world from the way I learned to skate. And Bob, I don't know if you've seen this with your kid, but like the way he moved around was like almost exclusively like those mohawk turns where you basically open your hips and your feet are pointing out and you shuffle your way.
You do it with jazz hands like that?
No, but like these are my feet, okay, and they're pointed out. Like I learned to skate like this. But like the way they skate is they move like that. It's fucking crazy. So like I'm trying to track down this kid. I'm like, stop doing this, you little fucking asshole. And needless to say, it didn't go great.
When I was born, my feet went like that. And they had to put me in a cast from my waist down to straighten my feet. And that's why when I run, or at least when I did until I kind of got to high school and got more like, I guess, motor skills, my feet would go out like this. I ran like a fucking duck and everybody would make fun of me.
Was
there a mermaid cast?
Was there a girl named Jenny on the bus that made you feel welcome?
Yeah, and then one time I got off the bus and these bullies were there, right? And they're like throwing rocks at me and stuff. And the girl I was with, she was just telling me, like, just go home, just run, right? I had these giant metal braces on my legs, right? And I just was running, and the braces broke apart into a million different pieces, and I didn't even need them anymore. And
hold on, I got an idea for a movie. Do that again.
Hang on a second. So there's a book first. Can I read you total segue, non sequitur at all? Can I read you a fucking headline that would people, if they read it in 1995, would be like, what does that even say?
Yeah, sure.
WNBA sex toy incidents may be linked to cryptocurrency group's money scheme.
That would definitely
you're right.
I barely know what it means now.
So you go back 30 years, and nobody's going to know what WNBA cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Well, sex toys were around in 30 years ago.
But we took them more seriously back then. We didn't call them toys. We called them, I don't know.
What do you call them?
I just thought that was funny. What a fucking
sexual assault with a concrete dildo. So, have you guys seen this 3 Ice thing?
I'm aware of it. I haven't watched any of it.
I was just watching the game before I came in here.
Yeah, it's on MSG, right?
No.
I think
Danica's
a coach of one of the teams.
He's the coach of the New York, New Jersey team. It's 3-on-3 hockey. It's a league, and I guess it's mostly defunct college guys, ECHL guys, dudes just trying to, just wanting to play hockey. It's 3-on-3. It's running clock, 2 8-minute halves. So the game's over in like 20 minutes. The only time the whistle's blown is during if there's a penalty. Otherwise, like I said, you just keep playing. Even when a goal is scored, you're right back at the dot and they drop the puck and you go.
This is basically my kids' summer league for
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's probably a decent amount of kind of skilled, undersized guys, or sort of the soft guys from college, and it's a good league for them. I imagine it's like not a lot of hitting and a lot of Michigans and type of shit like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, the first half, of course, the first time I sit down, I'm excited about it. I get to watch one half, and I'm watching I think it was New York, New Jersey was, I don't remember who the hell we were playing, but there was no scoring in the first half. And then so it was like I think 3-2 when I came in here. New York was winning, we were winning. But there's 5 players plus a goalie. That's it. So these dudes are skating their asses off, man. You only have 2 subs. And so
How long are the
Yeah,
are there
sounds like my
periods
kids'
or
league.
halves or?
halves, 2 8-minute halves.
That's really short. Even my kids play 3 16-minute running clock periods. 16 minutes running clock is 16 minutes. It's still rather quick.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned that this league that they actually had a scoreless half though at 3
I know.
3. That's this goalie was otherworldly, or there's a reason these guys playing on that league.
I think Jeremy Brodeur played in this league a couple years ago.
Yeah, he was with, I think, Dallas, the Dallas team. The teams don't have names. They just go by the city. It's like 3 ice New York, New Jersey, 3 ice Dallas, 3 ice.
They're like, yeah, we're not going to plan that far ahead.
I mean,
we're not expected to get far enough to have team allegiances here.
I don't think Danico even knew who the guys on his team were. I really don't. I think he was like introduced to them today. And well, I don't know when this was
again.
going on.
It's like the coaches on the bench for the kids team. They don't. They're just like
he's not going to remember. He's not going to remember their names anyway.
Exactly. Wow, man. I wanted to give it a little bit of time to see if anybody was hot. Nobody's hopping on with us tonight.
Yeah.
This is kind of depressing.
No, fuck a bunch of losers we are.
That's fine. Shit.
I guess people are watching preseason football over the Uncle Puckers.
I just scrolled and saw something that made me very happy. You've all seen it, I'm sure. It's like this little video clip basically about Martin Brodeur changing the game, right?
Hey, Chris.
And all that. And I'm watching it, and of course, it makes me so happy. And it reminds me of the debate that, we've sometimes had. We'll all say Brodeur's best goalie in the world. And it's just true. Again, I'm stamping it because they changed the goddamn rules for him. That means he's the best. No Wah, no Hasek, Brodeur.
Correct.
They changed the playing surface because of him.
Right.
I honestly think the only person that you can even have an argument with about is Brodeur. I mean, is Wah. It's the only one that I think you can have an argument with. Especially the thing that gets me is in professional sports, and I don't give a shit what sport it is, but in professional sports, you are judged by your postseason efforts. When it's all said and done and your career is in the books, they'll look at say Bobby was an awesome regular season player. I mean, but when it came to clutch time, he dropped the ball a lot. He was not the guy in the postseason that he was in the regular season. We see that a lot.
You're gonna let him take shots you like that?
Brodeur, well, just use him as an example. Brodeur and Watu, but
I'm not clutch.
I get paid for the regular season. Why on earth would I give everything I have in the playoffs?
There you go.
Jeez.
The records that Brodeur has, but the postseason records, they're just, hey, Steven, how are you, buddy? It is, I don't think they're ever going to be broken, a lot of these records. And that is another reason why, he's the best. And if I had to say right now playing today, who do you think the best goalie is? Because you can go with the regular season, it's Connor Hellebuyck, in my opinion. Absolutely. But it goes to that. If Hellebuyck doesn't win a cup or even play for one, what's his legacy? A great regular season goalie, a guy that maybe might have 4 Vezinas, 5 Vezinas when it's all said and done. But does it really matter if you don't win in the end?
Hellebuck's going to need a decade of great long playoff runs with a good GAA to bring that GAA down, dude. He needs sustained winning to get his averages down.
He is honestly one of the oddest cases because there are guys that were great in the regular season and okay to good in the postseason. He's fucking been absolutely awful in the postseason, like alarmingly so, getting pulled and not starting for your team bad.
Yeah,
Like, it's truly like just Jekyll and Hyde. It's unbelievable. Like best goalie today, though, I don't know. And it's kind of we were talking about this before. Like I think there's like a tier of like 4 or 5 guys maybe, and kind of depending on whose team is the best, then that's kind of who's got the edge.
All right, it's game 7, right? It was a playoff. I don't care what series, what round it is. And you can pick any guy who plays goal right now. Who are you taking to play your game 7? Bobby, you go first.
I don't know. Tim, you go first.
I have a very probably a guy that you wouldn't expect.
Okay.
Jordan Binnington.
He's clutch.
Right.
Like in that circumstance that you need to win one game,
I
he's
just
done
can't
that a
stand
couple
him.
times. He is a locked in. When he gets locked in, he is a fucking psycho.
Yeah, but the problem is that it can go the other way with him. We have seen him unravel.
Not in
and-
that
yes,
specific situation.
But if I was picking a guy, I know he hasn't been, the man for the last couple of years, but Vasilevsky to me is still the best clutch goaltender in the league today. I still will go with Vasilevsky.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in a playoff situation. He's still got the pedigree.
Yeah, and to answer Steven's questions, like Winnipeg, the team has to shoulder some of the blame for what happens in the playoffs to them. They just kind of lose all their structure. Like that's one of the things that team and why they're so good is they're largely predicated on structure, and that's kind of why and feeding with Hellebuck back and forth. But Hellebuck does have one kind of fatal flaw, which people seem to remember about him when it comes to the playoffs, is that he stays really deep in his crease. And I wish Mike Ruff was on, because he's actually a goalie and could talk about this too a little bit more. But
We used to have a goalie on the show.
Yeah, where's that Dan guy?
He's ghosted me all summer since we went to the beach. He has completely ghosted me.
So Hellebuck stays really deep in his crease, which makes him susceptible to longish shots or like shots that get deflected, and that's kind of like what shots are and what kind of goals go in the playoffs. It's those long shots that pinball around and bounce off guys.
I'm not going to put, because Chris D writes here, because I was going to bring this point up. He's decent at home. He sucks ass on the road. And when the playoffs came, every game in St. Louis, it was an adventure with this dude between the pipes. And that's why I don't think Winnipeg changed their style a whole lot in that first round.
I think their structure falls apart a little bit. They're not changing their style. I think he
falls apart more than their structure, because there's just so many goals that you're just like, I get that, he stops that 99% of the time in the regular season.
I'd have to go back and watch.
It's a mental thing for him, man. I really think it's pretty much all mental with him. When the lights get bright, he's a shrinking violet, man.
The funniest picture was him and Kyle Connor sitting next to each other in the Four Nations picture, because he has like no neck. And Kyle Connor's neck is like an ostrich, and the two of them were sitting next to each other, and the picture is fucking hilarious. I don't know. Like, I'd have to go back and look like at specific goals, but I do remember consistently him being really deep in his crease and letting in a lot of long shots. And then and then there's that snowball effect where it gets in your head. And then he made a couple of dumb plays. I remember one where like he came out to play the puck and fucked it up, and like they scored a goal behind him, and then that snowballs, and then the team's trying to catch back up, and then they fall out of their structure and they get scored on more. So kind of, it all sort of ties in together.
And that's another thing about Brodeur. The dude never got rattled. It didn't matter what happened. He never got rattled. Dude, it didn't matter if he let 2 bad ones in the first period. That was it. If you just saw that look on his face and you knew, all right, he's not letting anymore, and he's just going to battle the whole night.
Yeah, you can literally remember like count on one hand the few
Right.
instances where he showed some kind of emotion in the negative. I mean, he put his head down for like 1 second when he let in that fluky of the flukiest goals against Anaheim in the Stanley Cup. But we all know how he worked out the rest of that series. But I mean, that couldn't have gone more wrong. Put his head down for like a second, and then he realized, like, I ain't put my head down. Like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah, after the Mateau goal and then those two in Carolina, that they came back like 2 minutes left. He was pretty unhappy with himself about those.
And, you know, it's not not just game to game or goal to goal, but I mean, not just goal to goal, but it's also was game to game. Like, you know, Devils didn't win. You know, they weren't 82-0 every time Brodeur, you know, was when Brodeur was with them. They lost their fair share of games. And if he had a bad one, which again, you can probably count them on two hands, the bad ones he had, never two in a row. Like, I honestly don't remember any stretch of Brodeur's career where, yeah, he's just kind of in the funk right here, and you know he needs to work his way out of it. I don't remember that.
I'm sure it's happened at least to some small degree, 3, 4, 5 games, but I don't remember it either.
Yeah.
When you got 20 years of dominance, I mean, it's just, if it happened, whoops, that's a blip.
And to your point about his records never being broken, like there's no chance. It's just the position and the usage has totally changed.
Oh, sure.
You know, like it's like some of those old school pitching records where you're like,
Exactly.
you know, like the guys would, you know, what was it? Someone has like Cy Young has like 500 wins or something like that. Like that shit's just never gonna happen because of usage.
Right. And like like Satchel Paige would pitch like 14 innings in one
day,
exactly.
And then Nolan
pitch another 10.
Yeah, Nolan Ryan's like, you know,
Nolan Ryan was another guy.
And, yeah, you know, he'd throw 140 pitches and then, you know, go like, you know, off to his cattle ranch and for a day. So
yeah, those guys were tough back then. Not anymore in baseball.
But we also talked about it a little bit before, I don't know, a couple months ago about how like kind of homogenous goaltending's gotten stylistically. And there's, you know, you could really make arguments with using stylistic points like Waugh versus Brodeur versus Hasek, but now they're all so similar in how they kind of play that it's hard to really parse out like who is the best goalie. You know, I think there are like 5 guys that are probably head and shoulders above everybody else.
All right. So Bobby,
well,
you got something to say first? If not, I want your top 5 goalies right now.
Look what I did, Bob. I'm sorry.
Jesus, I can't. Come on.
I'll go first.
I mean, Hellebuck has got to be number 1 for me. You know, dickhead out in New York. Then Sorokin.
Taking both dickheads in New York.
Yeah, I guess so. Sorokin, I know he hasn't done too much lately, but I still think that kind of elite level goalie's in there. After that, I'm kind of drawing a little bit of a blank here, to be honest with you, is who I put in the number 4 spot.
Yeah.
Kind of hits the next tier, and then I'm blending a lot of guys together there. So,
well, like what about Bobrovsky and Vasilevsky?
Yeah, those, I mean, you can't argue with what Bobrovsky's done the last 2 years, what Vasilevsky's done over his career. He's not the same goaltender, but I'd still have to put them kind of in that next tier, I guess, just on skill. But yeah, that makes sense if you want to round it out with those two. Sure.
You put Markstrom anywhere near there?
I put Markstrom in the next group. Yeah, like, you know, I don't know exactly who'd be above him, but I could, you know, put him somewhere in like that 7-8 spot, maybe something like that.
Top 10.
Yeah. Top 10.
Yeah.
Top third. That's what you need.
He's like the Devils. He's like not in that elite group, but like kind of in the in the middle of that sort of next group.
Yeah. So this morning I was driving into work and I was put on the NHL network and it was the power play. So it was Boomer Gordon and Jake Hahn, and they were doing their GM report cards. And I just get onto them getting to Jersey. So I got excited. I was extremely surprised with what both of these dudes had to say about the Devils. And more Boomer Gordon than Jake, but Boomer said B+ all around for Fitz. He said, I like every move that he has done. The problem is we have yet to kind of, you know, and I'm just kind of giving you the Cliff's Notes version. Yeah. We haven't been able to see this team in the in the way that Fitzgerald envisioned it. We haven't yet to see it, but he's like, but if you look at their moves and not just talking about the Timo Meyer move, talking about the Markstrom move and getting rid of guys like Alex Holtz and stuff. And, now with Connor Brown coming and certain guys there, he was big on it. He goes there. Now he did say something that we talked about.
This is this offseason specifically
this season.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
But he was talking about he went back to like 2 years ago, as far as all the moves that he's made
Fitz is doing, building to where we are.
Okay.
And that this year, and he said exactly what we said. Like Jack Hughes gets hurt this year, then we all need to sit down and have a conversation about what we're going to expect from Jack Hughes moving forward. But he goes, if this year they don't prove that they're an elite team in the NHL, then something's wrong, because he goes, they're there and they're built for it. And that's exactly how I feel. And I said it to you guys. I've been saying it for a lot. The more I'm thinking about this lineup, the more I'm thinking about this team, the more I'm getting really excited to see them play. So I was very surprised how high they were on the Devils.
That's good.
It's always like that with the national media versus the local media and local fans. For the most part, I think you'll find across every sport and every team, particularly in hockey and with the Devils right now. And I think the answer is somewhere in between. The national media, they take a glance at the Devils and they're like, Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, Markstrom's a big name, but they don't know like the nuance and the specific of what happened. They didn't see the Devils fully healthy fall apart in January. They see the Devils and they're like, they keep getting hurt. That's not on Fitz. However, what we see, we watch this team every single day. We know the ins and outs, and maybe we are harsher on the team and Fitz and management and the coaching, but we see these smaller kind of nuances in day in and day out. And I feel like that's why there's always such a heated argument about Jesper Bratt, which is, like I think from the outside, people are like, he's nasty. Look how fucking quick he is. Look at how he backs off D. Look at, how good he is. And from the inside, fans see him and say like, maybe sometimes he disappears a little bit, particularly in the playoffs. We see that, out from the outside, people are like, oh, well, they didn't score a single power play goal. So, that's naturally why that happened. So I think the reality and the truth is kind of somewhere in between. I think probably closer to the people that are closer to the team.
No, I agree.
But from the outside, look at, the national media looking across all of the league, they see across the league that nobody's doing shit. And see that Fitz is also not doing shit. So he's kind of part of everybody. So I don't know. I've been thinking about this too. Like, I still think we need a new fresh set of eyes on this team from a management perspective. But I'm a little more optimistic, I think, than most other people are.
Guess what the one question that he brought up was, like, why does this team blah blah blah? What do you think it was? If you want to even guess. I hate when people tell me to guess shit. It makes me mad. I just told you guys to do it.
Always wind up dead at the end of the season.
No, it had nothing to do with the injuries. It had something to do with what we talked about. I think last week we brought it up.
Why do they play down to their competition?
Sort of. You're kind of on the right track. Why doesn't this team score more freaking goals? That was the big thing. And again, because you're like you said, they look at the lineup and they say, why was this team 27th in goals for last year? They should look at, they have Jack, they have, but you're not looking at Tatar and Lazar and Bastion and our bottom six, which drag that number way to hell down. We couldn't score.
And that's been improved upon.
Yeah, that's been improved upon in the forward group. It's, and one thing that I keep harping on and why I've been so adamant about needing to keep Dougie around is because we didn't get enough offense from our D-core either.
No,
that's something that I think has really been underserved and not talked about enough. People don't realize like how much offense is derived from the transition game and defensively, and how much the defensemen impact the ozone play and pinching down the wall to keep plays alive. So what's he saying?
Well, He makes
like
a great
this.
point, and it's
And
I
but
agree.
this is exactly what I'm talking about. Sorry,
But-
Chris. I just had a Mountain Dew, so I'm all fucking juiced up.
but you have to, any Devil fan that has been on this roller coaster the last 5 years, we've been on it the last 25 years, but the last 5 years, you look at this year cannot be a repeat of the last 2 years. We talked about it. This is the year. You made the moves. We all like your team. Yeah, people are going to bitch and moan 3C, and a winger for Jack and blah, blah, blah. They're not coming. This is the team.
Yeah. I love that, what he wrote there, because, we've talked about it in different variations over the last couple months, year, or whatever, but not only does the narrative have to change, but that, like, the true belief in that has to change in the locker room. Like, it has to be a mindset, a complete total flip. And there's no hero coming. There's nothing like great. Maybe you'll get some surprise guys that, play above their grade, but like that just starts in the room. It's just got to go all the way out. Like, we're taking this, we're going, we are enough, and I don't know what's preventing them from doing that.
That's it.
Yeah,
Like, what's preventing them from doing that? That's a great question, because we've also gotten so in the weeds as what is that dressing room like, and who are those the leaders? What's the culture like? I do think that a second year of certain guys like Pesci and Dylan and in that dressing room, I think that veteran leadership now it's their team now. They're not the new guys on the Devils.
Right.
They're Devils. And I do think second year you should see a lot of progress in any team in that second year in the system. So it's the second year of some of these dudes and we have some new guys that are going to have to catch up. But it has to be this year. I don't think there's no excuses this year. Even if injuries happen, there are no excuses this year. They've got to go on a deep run.
What Dubs wrote is almost an exact microcosm of what I was just talking about. Like, the Vegas odds and the national media look at the Devils and they're like, they're probably like seventh best team. We look at the Devils and we're like, oh, we need a 3C and our depth is trash, and Markstrom lets in softies every now and then and 1-0 them, and Fitzgerald can fucking suck a dick. Like, that's what we see because we're so close to it. So, I don't know, it is somewhere in the middle, probably, like I said, probably closer to what we think. But like I said, I am a little bit more optimistic. He fixed, he did change the bottom six, but almost by default, by just not signing people. It's like that's kind of he almost got off on a technicality.
No, I think the bottom six was most definitely a pressing concern for him going into this offseason.
That was our biggest drag this whole year. And I actually have a blog that I'm ready to post my first post for all about the jersey once they figure out they switch systems and like the whole transition's been a mess. So, but it's about sort of the new guys versus the old guys and kind of shoring up the speed and playing with pace that I've talked about before. And having a capable and competent bottom six has a ripple effect across the entire team. And it's that shift connectivity that Keith references over and over and over again.
And Dubs, I put your comment up here because all right, to sign Luke, we've all talked about this thing ad nauseum. It's going to be a Dawson Mercer situation. Training camp's going to start. Luke's going to end up coming in late. He has the same agent that Mercer had. I just think it's a fucking game they're playing. It's going to get done. It's going to be an 8-year deal, but it's probably not going to get done until training camp starts. I hope I'm wrong. Now, and you changed the bottom six, but as far as the top 6 and 3C, top winger for Jack and 3C, that's something that we did all want. But the more I've been thinking about it, who the hell was out there? Who was available? Like, we always go, oh, dude, we love that guy. Go get him. But that you can't just call Buffalo and be like, hey, we want Alex Tuck. And they're, oh, okay, we'll send him to you.
Thank God, we're just dying to get rid of this guy.
You know what I mean? Like, there was just nobody willing to move. No GMs willing to. And I get why. Everybody's waiting for the cap to go up. Everybody's kind of just sitting on their hands right now, status quo, wait until they have a boatload of money. And then next year, free agency, I expect to be crazy. But I would blame Fitz if he didn't try. And I don't know that
We
he
don't know.
did,
We
but I
don't
have
know.
to assume that he did. And maybe there just wasn't anybody available. So we're stuck with Dodonov, Gritsuk, and Connor Brown. Those are the three guys that have to be game changers for us this year.
Right.
Yeah,
and I think, sorry,
Tim,
Bob,
let
go
Bob
ahead.
talk, will you? Mr.
I know.
fucking
I'm
Mountain
sorry.
Dew.
I'm fucking yapping away.
Sorry.
I can mute him, Bobby. You tell
This
me.
is
I'll
not
mute him.
news. No.
Put me in jail.
I just think too, there are only so much resources to go around. We have the horses that should make up the primary skill level on those top lines that, again, we've talked about. This could be a complementary piece. This doesn't need to be another guy capable of the skill set of our main four guys. I think for me, the question has always been, how do we spread that out more effectively? Assuming now we have a solid bottom six, how do we maximize the potential of what we already have in the top six? And that's one of the problems. And that's one of the things we have seen before and talked about before in that kind of Timo Meyer fit. Not to bash on the Meyer guy again, but if there were a different version of his potential for 40 goals, would that fit better? I don't know what it is about our top four forwards, but the blend doesn't seem to be right, at least not sustainable long term. We always get, a couple months. Oh, he played so good with Nico, and then it doesn't stick. So for me, I don't know that it was just like, oh, we're just going to go out and get another, 8x8 player who's going to score 30 and all of our problems go away. I don't know that would happen.
You know what does stick, Bobby? Peanut butter and jelly stick. Jack and Brett, the only two guys with real chemistry. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Nico,
and then you're going to get tons of
Nico and Timo a pair, Jack and Brad are a pair. I mean, I think
that's it's what it should be. But then as the season goes on and little things happen, then we get that whole, okay, the Jack and Brat line's too small, and who's up there helping him out? Timo went dark again for a few months. Why can't he play with Heischer? I know that's the way it should be. I'm just saying I still never sit here 100% comfortable and tell you, here's the construction of our top two lines that optimizes all of their abilities. Because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Timo have a Timo season yet. Timo
hasn't. He's the one guy that, like you said, seemingly doesn't fit in for some reason. It's just, it's been 2 full years now and 3 different coaches, and nobody seems to find the right spot to slot him in. So what's up with
Tim's
that?
mentioned plenty of times the power play time and how much of his stats had previously had that on other teams. And now if he's on power play 2, that's going to suffer. Like, we all get that. Again, I've always just come from where you just said, Chris. It's the look and feel of it. It's the eye test, right? And then the underlying stats. It just concerns me.
Well, and then that's kind of the ripple effect of things, right? Where let me just read you someone's stats. So in 21-22, this player had 21 goals, 39 assists. 22-23, they had 31 goals, 49 assists. Huge.
They play every game? Are we assuming that they play
81, 70, 81, 71, 75. Okay. Those are the games of the 4 years. 23-24, they had 27 goals and 40 assists. So they have a pretty good spread between their goals and assists, right?
Yeah.
This past year, this person had 35 goals and 34 assists. They actually had less assists than they had goals. Do you know who that person is? That 35 goals on the Devils. He's very handsome. He's from Switzerland.
Just for
Nico Heischer. Okay.
I mean,
Nico.
Is not from
So Nico had 35 goals, 34 assists.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at his pattern of scoring, he always has probably about 50% more assists than goals.
Right.
Yep.
Except for this past year. And
why?
Timo Meyer. Because Timo Meyer was shooting so far under his expected goals, and what his shooting talent actually is, that it was actually comical. Like the not to bring up charts. Oh, there I am, frozen. Not to bring up charts, but his expected goals versus what he was actually scoring was ridiculous. And we saw it. We saw him hit a million posts. We saw him fucking bury it right in the guy's chest. We saw him miss wide open opportunities. We saw him get robbed over and over again. So I do think a resurgence is going to happen for Timo. But
are you suggesting the underlying numbers here are that because Timo missed so much, it opened up more opportunities for Nico to finish? Like if he had
No,
scored 10 more goals? No,
I'm
You're not
saying well, potentially both. I think Nico scored a lot more because he scored a lot more in the power play because of how they kind of rearranged the power play. I think Nason and Nico kind of stole a lot of Dougie's goals, to be honest, on power play 1. Because
Timo's goals or Dougie's?
No. Nico and Nason stole some of Dougie's goals because of the way the power play was structured. It used to a lot feed through the top of the umbrella between Jack, Brat, and Dougie. And structurally, a lot of it then shifted with Colleton when Colleton came in to down low to that Jack, Nason, Nico triangle down low, or the Nico, Nason, Brat triangle down low, or the Jack across. So that's why Dougie's assists went up and his goals went down, and Nason and Nico's goals went up.
But as far as Dougie goes, can't make the club in the tub, buddy. You better get healthy.
I'm going to
stay healthy all year. Also, Bob, like, I wonder how much stress having such horrible secondary scoring puts on Nico and Jack, especially those two guys. Like, every night, if you know the only way that we're going to win this game is if I go off or Nico goes off or Jack goes off, whoever you are, like, it's always – I remember
last year for sure. Yeah.
Specifically last year, right? Like, we've had it'd be nice if it's great we won, but it would have been nice if it was somebody other than Jack and Nico. That takes a toll, man. It's the trickle effect, the ripple effect, like you said, Tim. If you have that solid bottom 6, it just makes everything else flow so much better. And that's I'm really hoping the Devils do this year.
And that's why I think, and I've said this before, I'm so adamant about getting a defensive lockdown 3C. And I think the way we're going to go at least start the season is with Glass in that role, because his defensive metrics are really through the roof. So, like, looking at it, how Carolina builds out, where Stahl is their 3C, he takes all the heavy defensive minutes, and then that lets the top 2 lines run. If we can get a guy like Glass and he can succeed in a defensive role and take some of that burden off of Nico, take some of the face-off burden, I'd love to see Nico maybe minimize some of his penalty kill time, because I think there's another level that Nico can get to offensively. And I think obviously there's another level that Timo can get to offensively.
And another level Jack can get to defensively, which is, I'm excited. If they stay healthy, like, man, this should be a solid team.
It's health. Yeah. And Dubs brings up a good point. There's some luck to that, when guys shoot, like, they kind of have a vague idea where it's going, but if a lot of seeing eye shots get through, and just the amount of times that we hit a shin pad or a shot just deflects off a stick, or a skate, or a goalie just gets a little piece of it. That shit just happens, man. That's just how hockey works.
Yeah. There's some years, 2 years ago, everything went right for the Devils. If they tried to fuck something up, they wouldn't be able to do it. Like, everything went perfect. And that's kind of what happened to Capitals last year. I think, because neither of those teams are truly great teams but they did have great seasons. So I think Washington gets knocked down a little bit, but I think the Devils are actually on, the ascent, where I don't think that Washington is, at least a couple more years. But as far as that Metropolitan Division goes, like, I honestly, Carolina does not scare me anymore. I'm done with them. Screw them. I think we win this thing. And I really hope that's the attitude the Devils have.
Yeah, just fucking don't get hurt, guys. Please, fuck. Stop it. Stop.
You guys want to play a game?
Sure.
What kind of game?
Devil, I got one.
Oh.
This one's not going to be very difficult. I don't think it's going to be very difficult. I think you guys should be pretty. I think you guys should probably get this pretty quick. If I can find our sounder, where the hell did it go?
Shall we play a game?
We can.
The devil you know, the devil you know.
There you go. Tim's got it.
Shall we play a game?
Buckle up, boys and girls. It is time for the Devil You Know on the Uncle Pucker New Jersey Devil Podcast.
It's my finest work. I think I need to put that in my portfolio, on my resume. I
think
made
it's
this
damn good
cartoon
work.
thing fart.
You did. And me and you make a great team, Bobby.
We do,
It's
I
right?
fart, you animate it.
It's the fade out. It's the fade out wipe for me and the flames.
Well, that's
All right.
elementary stuff.
That's art, Bobby. That's what it is.
Sorry.
All right,
yes.
time for the Devil You Know. This is the most fun interactive game in New Jersey Devil podcast history, boys and girls. I will be the clue giver tonight to give the clues to a former New Jersey Devil player. Tim and Bobby get to guess. They get 3 incorrect guesses before they're eliminated. They can ask me any question they want. I can or cannot answer. It is completely up to me. If you guys know the answer in the comments, just don't throw it out there right away if they didn't get it yet.
Looking at you, Angle.
Get it ready. So as soon as we say somebody won, you can hit send and we'll know that, you had it too. So this player, I'm not going to say their name because that totally screws the game up.
What kind
when
of
you do
fucking
that.
idiot? What kind of idiot would do that?
Some dumbass.
Tim
Some
has
dumb-
his own rules.
Some dumbass with fucking bags under his eyes. All right. This player has the same birthday as Tony. January 18th, 1979. No,
Okay.
it's not Christoph Oliwa.
1979. All right.
Our generation.
He was drafted in 1998, 82nd overall. Played for who did he play for? 4 NHL teams? Yeah, 4 NHL teams.
Question?
What?
I can't answer that for you if that was a question.
No, I forgot because he only played for the last team for a little while. That was in 2018, actually. He signed a 1-year deal with the Boston Bruins. That was the last team he played for. This former New Jersey Devil player, let's see. In the last game of the 05-06 season, he broke Pat Verbeek's franchise record for goals in a season with 48.
Brian
And
Giannis.
he had the highest point total to date with 89 in 82 games. Would you say,
Brian Gianto? Was I wrong?
No, you were dead ass right.
Bobby
It's
just got
Brian Gianna. That I think it was a kind of an easy one. I mean, at least I didn't give you. He was on the egg line right away. I had a whole bunch of other clues. Man, you forget.
Yeah, I would have gone with the 48 goals last.
Well, I thought that I was going with a harder one last. He scored the first goal in Prudential Center history as a Devil in a 4-1 loss to Ottawa Senators. Let's see. 473 regular season games in New Jersey, 67 playoff games. As of 2011, he holds the franchise all-time power play goal scoring record in one season with 24. You forget how fucking great of a Devil Brian Gianto was. I mean, very underrated.
At the time where we really needed somebody to step up, he certainly did. Yeah.
The first New Jersey Devil to score 40 goals in a season since Elias and McGillney each had their mark in the 2000-2001 season. He was the captain of the Montreal Canadiens, only the second American to captain that team. Signed a 3-year deal with Buffalo. He was a captain of them too. First New York native to captain the Buffalo Sabres.
You know what the problem with doing this one anyway is? So many of those clues really just point to him. He was very specific in a lot of things he did.
I know you might as well said he was like 5'4".
Really hard. Like
he was from Rochester, New York.
It could 5'7". Everything we know about him, you just said, that's a tough one because he was such a standout for that particular era. Now, did you say points record for a season? Because that was the case, but Hughes over.
Oh yeah, up to yes. At that time, yes.
Yeah, and then Elias broke it, and then Hughes broke that, right?
Yeah,
right, Hughes then
exactly. But do you think that Brian Gianto deserves to be in the, either Ring of Honor or possibly even number 14 hanging from the rafters, or no? You got to win the cup to get the rafter, right? You got to win the
cup. Rafter, and depending on how deep dive they go with the, I call it the Ring of Fire. So my bad.
The Ring of Fire is better.
That's just I remember you saying that.
They should have. That's what they should have called it.
Exactly.
Probably couldn't. I could see a place for him down the line. Yeah, right. I don't think he could do that either. But Yeah, we'd have to look at that, when the time comes, because after they do the next one or two, we'll probably get into those kind of waters where the guys
Well, who
like
would
that.
be the next player you put in? Because you had Doc Emmerich, Lou Lamorella, like all those guys eventually. But who's the next player you would put in?
We talk about like the lifelong achievement type side of this, right? Like a Zajac situation.
How about Gomez?
Here forever, Gomer.
And there's also some early days
Yeah.
guys that really kind of like
John
kept this
McClane,
team. John McClane, Sean Burke, even
Bruce Driver.
Chris Terreri.
No,
Fucking loved Chris Terreri.
I did
Bruce
too. But
Driver.
no. Yeah, Bruce Driver, even Pat Verbeek, mentioned him before.
Right.
Pat Verbeek, Kirk Muller, like these guys that were
Randy Velishek,
amazing.
Patrick Sundstrom.
Randy McKay, Bobby
Randy
Holy.
McKay.
Holy shit, man! They can go. All those guys are
They
deserving
could go
for the
pretty
Ring of
deep.
Honor.
I think they thought this. I think they thought ahead about this. They're like, we can put a lot of people up here.
Yeah,
And it's a good
Right.
because it's a tier below Jersey in the rafters.
Right. It's really good because that jersey has to be really special, and I
Right.
think they nailed it with what we've got up there so far. Quite frankly,
I wouldn't add. There's nobody else from any of those teams that I would add to that.
No.
It's the core. It's
No.
Stevens, Brodeur, it's Eliash, and Niedermeyer. That's it.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
Danica,
hopefully 86 and 13 will be up there, but I don't know.
some point. I mean, if Zach had stayed, I think he would have been
Yeah.
up there. I mean, maybe we'd have to win a cup to do that. I don't know. I mean, he did leave when we came like within an ass hair of a cup, so maybe we get one the next year if those guys stay together. But never know that. But just the way he was, who he was. If he had stayed long term, maybe
yeah,
not.
I think so. I think Parisi definitely. But
I think a guy like Hughes, even if we don't win a cup, is probably going to break all the records that he's going up at some point.
yes.
Yeah.
Now, but Hughes if he doesn't win a cup and he holds every offensive record,
Right.
Jersey's got to go up. You cannot have another 86 on that team. It's
Nobody
just,
wants that stupid fucking number anyway.
Alex McGillney did. He's in the Hall of Fame now.
89.
Oh, he was 89?
Yes.
Ah, fuck. I'm dyslexic. I got my,
I don't know. I'm very much Lou Lamorello when it comes to numbers. I see these high numbers. I'm like, grumpy old man.
Yeah, I hate when defensemen wear like a Kevin Ball wears 88. Like, what are you doing,
Yeah,
dude? You're
Exactly.
a
It's
fucking
like your number should be
defenseman.
like 3 or 4 or something
Right.
like that. Well, I guess you can't be 3 or 4 in the doubles, but
Right.
5 or 2.
Two. And I can't stand defensemen when they have high numbers. Drives me crazy.
It's different looking. Yeah.
So the NHL Network has been putting out their top 20 lists.
And I'm sure Devils fans are very, very
They're
calm and rational about this whole
very
list.
very rational discussions on the old Twitter box about this list.
What are we losing our minds about? I didn't see this.
So I think it's actually a pretty reasonable list. You could probably argue about a couple guys, and that's where the argument came in. So number 1 is Kucherov. That makes sense. 2 is Pasta, then Kaprizov.
These are right wings, right?
These are just wings, not right wing.
Oh,
left wing.
okay,
It's
just
wings.
wings.
Just wings.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I thought it was right wing. Okay,
Yeah, they worded it a little confusing. They said top 20 wings right now, and everybody's like,
that's what I saw.
he plays left wing, and people are like, no,
It's going to
I'm
change
trying to-
what I have to say later, but it'll still play.
So, but like
I'm
Mika
trying to think
Rantanen at 4,
I'm trying to
Mitch
think of
Marner
who's
at
number 1.
5,
That's who I thought might have been number 1. Marner's number 3
Marner's 5,
or 5. Okay.
Kaprizov's 3,
Okay.
Willie Nylander 6, Matt Tkachuk is 7, Sam Reinhart 8, Kyle Connor 9, Panarin 10, and then Jake Gensel 11, and then our boy Jesper Bratt is 12, and then Brandon Hagel 13, Brady Tkachuk 14, Clayton Keller 15, Jason Robertson 16, Ovechkin 17, Forsberg 18, Matt Boldy 19, Adrian Kempe 20.
It's
So
got to be the Brat before Kachuk's got to be what's
Brad
breaking people's brains.
has really got some people's panties in a bunch. Look, there are arguments that could be made to put any one of those guys in any sort of 12, 13, 14 order. Some people will see more value in what Brady does. Some people will see more value in what Pratt does. I think Hagel is actually criminally underrated. especially what he did this past season. I could actually see him being in the top 10.
But this list is stupid, though. It's a stupid list.
It's a stupid list put out by NHL Network because it's the middle of summer.
And yeah, of course, but anybody would take, any 32 teams would take any one of those guys to play because they're all fantastic. They are the 25 whatever best wingers in the league. You're going to go and piss and moan because your guy was 13 and should have been 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's interchangeable.
So it's
They're all
not
great
that he
players.
doesn't belong in the top 20. That's not the contention. It's where specifically within these 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, that's splitting hairs. So I did read it wrong. I do want to share something because at first I went looking at the stats of right wingers. I'm like, well, technically Brad's not even listed as a right winger. He's listed as a left winger. But he plays it
plays
doesn't
both.
mean anything. So I did pull up though right wings, and I want to share this because we all know Brad is a very good player. We've also been critical of him at times, like we just talked about today. Did he disappear for a while? What about his playoff performance? But as to whether or not this guy is an elite winger, either way you slice it, when I'm looking at, I'll look at the last 3 years, for example, right? From the 22 season through last year. He's got 106 goals, 211 assists for 317 points. It's 0.99 points per game. So he's a point per game player, and he's kind of a modest plus 13. The only guys in front of him that are actually listed as right wings are Kucherov with 447 points, Pasternak with 406, Rantanen with 389, Marner with 383, and Nylander with 349. And by the way, the Pasternak is a plus 68 over that time, and Rantanen and Marner are plus 80. It's like, wow, we talk about how that's not like a stat of all stats, but when it's that big, that does say something.
I agree. And go ahead.
No, I was just say, just to finish up here, below Brat on that wrong are guys like Kyrou, DeBrincat, Keller, Connectity, Raquel, Tuck, Marchessault, like all these names we've said in the past, like we'd love to have on our team, or below him in the point production there. And then this is what I really like the most. 211 of his 317 points over the last 3 seasons are even strength points, which just so happens to mathematically come out to 66.6% of the time.
Does it really?
Yeah, it literally did.
That's freaking awesome.
666. So now, argument over. He's a top winger in the NHL.
Well, you know what's a little crazy when you're reading that list, the list you made? I would take all 5 of the guys in front of Brat, or 5 or 6 of them. I would take all of those guys over Brat. But I would take Brat over all the guys that you mentioned that were below him. Like Brat is right in the fucking middle. Like so yeah, wherever he is in that list, like he can go anywhere. He can play, at any, he's so good. He can play at the top, most elitist, but his floor is the last guy you mentioned, which is a great winger.
And he's still sneaky good because we just talked about how it felt like last year, and it was at times literally either the Jack or Nico show to win the game, but yet this guy quietly put together, 80 something points again. Right. So he did do his share. But yeah, he's in the company where he belongs. I don't know. I'd take everybody above him on the list, like you said, because if you look at the whole body of work and the contract and term left available, like a Pasternak.
No. I'm just talking player.
One to one. Yeah.
We'll go to the guys you mentioned that were above him. Go to him again. Read them again real quick.
Yeah, so Kucherov, number 1.
Would you take Kucherov? Would you take Kucherov over Brat?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Full contract swap too. Whatever's going on there. Like Costa, I don't know if I want him for 3 or 4 years. Maybe you do. I don't know. Rantanen, he's got more points.
I'd take Rantanen over Brad. Okay. Yeah.
And Marner, of course, and Nylander. Yep. I mean, but again, that's
I don't know about Marner.
He's right there next.
The reason I take some of those other guys is because there's a little bit of an added element that Brat doesn't have. Like I think kind of a little bit of a mean streak. They also are producing more, but I feel like him and Marner are a little bit of semi-interchangeable.
Okay.
Bobby and I use that line all the time, dude. That's so funny, Steven. All the time. What's your impression? I'm sorry, I don't do impressions.
Love it. Yeah, I think it was really interesting that we have, everybody on that list below him, we have clamored for at one point or another in the last couple of years as the next supplemental piece. And we have that piece even better statistically.
That's true.
We don't all bring all the same elements of the game. I'm just saying statistically, of course.
Would you take Clayton Keller over Brett?
Yeah, I would.
You would?
Yeah. Clayton Keller's fucking nasty, and he's about to have some massive season.
Yeah, he's the only guy that was on the bottom of him that I would take over him.
Yeah, it wasn't far below him too, if I recall on the point. He was a few points or something. Like it's all close. But again, the argument I was making to Tim's point is, who gives a shit where you're slicing these guys and putting them in this list? There's obviously a top tier of 5 or so, but then after that, like, you're splitting hairs. This is the style of game that we get from this type of player. Now let's get it like another complimentary.
Like he's not getting traded, so like, you know.
No.
Why get our pennies in a bunch about, daydreaming about potentially trading when it's just not going to get traded? So
no, a couple of years ago, after the Ranger playoff series, I was kind of like, what? I'm okay if this guy is gone. Like, especially if it meant like Connor Hollabuck or somebody like that. Like, I had no problem with it. Now I don't want to get rid of him. And
that was a particularly tough one for you because that was the year you guys became BFF too. That same year.
That's right.
That's earlier in the year.
We did become BFF.
You still had you had to put on your true glasses and say, hey, I don't care. Call a spade, and this isn't working out.
It's not working out, buddy. Hey, maybe I'll meet Connor Hollabuck in a bar somewhere and have a conversation with him. But no, it didn't happen. I like Brad, and I like Brad too because every year he's gotten better. Like, he takes being a hockey player, it holds it in such high regard, man. This kid is just a prototype of what you want your hockey player to do. Off season, everything like that. Every year he's getting better.
Yeah, and in that his first go through in the playoffs, the Rangers Carolina stuff, he looked overwhelmed. Like, he looked this past year, I don't think he looked overwhelmed. I think he actually looked like the guy that he is, just the production wasn't necessarily there. And I think a lot of that's power play driven, like what Bobby just said. Look, a third of his points come on the power play because he is smaller and he needs more time and space. And our power play was a fucking abject failure during the playoffs. But it constantly improving, is his hallmark. And I don't think he's leveled off to what he's going to be. I think we see 90 points, and then I think he starts flirting with 100. And I think when we get to the playoffs again, I think that is going to happen. If not,
the luck that one of our, listeners just talked about. I mean, how many times it's burned into my head, how many times he would come down that right wing wall, beat out the defender, look so pretty, take the shot, and either miss the net or just put it straight in the chest. Like, it just wasn't going in, but he always got past them. He got those wheels going. I mean, I could just see it over and it was like every game. It was
like he
just weren't going in.
He does that little stutter step, and defensemen have to appreciate his speed, so they back off a little bit, and kind of leave a much bigger gap. Then when he approaches, he does that little stutter step where people don't know if he's going to burn him wide or curl and turn and find the fourth guy coming in. Part of I would have loved to have seen him score a few more goals than he did. But the assist production was there. I don't know. Like you said, Chris. Like, I'm more optimistic about this season because everybody wants the shiny new toys and sees the holes so glaringly, but we also have to understand what we still have in-house is still very, very good.
And when we, you compliment those guys that are in-house and let them play more free, let them play more, this is a team. It's not all on me. The pressure is not there. They're not getting asked all the time. How come you only had 2 points tonight? The game, team lost. And meanwhile, the other guys are doing nothing. You compliment everybody, and guys like Brad are going to take it to the next step. The Devil Heaven's right. Like, he has all the tools, and every year he's getting better. He can be 100-point guy. And so, this year, like you said, Tim, this year, real quick, he stepped up more in the playoffs, and he stepped up a lot more when Jack was out. And that was something that we complained a lot about. Like, now's your chance, dude. Step up, take the reins, be that leader, be that offensive leader on this team. And he didn't do it a lot. And this year he kind of did. He did it a lot more. He was a point, an assist machine this year. And I'm really excited to see where Jesper Brack goes.
Yeah, it really became his team, like we talked about earlier, just getting more comfortable. Every year it's more and more like this is my team. I can lead this team. Nico's the same way with the way he's evolved in his captaincy. Jack's getting there. Jack just needs to learn to slow down, and then we're good. So, that young core, they are figuring it out in that way. We just hope it really kind of kicks up to the next gear because you're going to run out of time sooner or later.
I just wanted them to stop saying we're building something and saying we built something.
Right.
So, in terms of go back to trying to find new pieces, I kind of thought of a corny analogy, but I think it applies, particularly the current sort of economic state of America. If you were going to buy a house right now and the best offer that you could come up with was a $2 million bombed out crack den in downtown Newark at a 12% interest rate, would you buy that? Or would you say, you know what, I'm going to wait until the market's better?
You would wait.
Because that bombed out crack den at a 12% interest rate is Jack Roslovich or Pavel Zacha. And no fucking thanks on either of those guys.
See what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
So far, like Dodonov is a guy that I'm super excited to see.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can play. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people with his skill, and he'll score a lot of goals. I expect this dude to score. I wouldn't be shocked if he scores 30 goals this year. If he's playing in that top six, I think he can get there. And I think that's where he's going to be playing. I'm super excited for him. Like maybe the answer is already here. We need to see this team. Now it's okay. It's done. Get rid of Palat. Sign Hughes.
We need to fucking get rid of that guy.
Team.
We need to get rid of that guy.
Are you crazy, dude?
He does the little things.
Come on, man. Palat all the way. You know me.
He has 2 cup rings from the 1950s. That's corruption at City Hall.
Palat's existence on this team completely confounds and confuses me constantly.
Well, and also, so like I run over like what lines in my head, even though I'm not the coach. I'm just like, how are they? I kind of see a little bit of like mismatching of how they're going to put this all together, because because if they are going to run with Cody Glass as this 3C defensive shutdown guy that takes some heat off of Nico, that kind of means that probably the best situation would be Palat and Brown as his wings. So what is that? Then we have Nico and Timo, Jack and Brett so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the top 9. Then we have 3 forwards. What do we do? Then we have Dadonov, Gritsuk, and Mercer. So we have 3 forwards for kind of 2 spots. I think Nason Cotter Lamico is potentially the 4th.
Okay,
line.
so our 4th line set.
Yeah, so I see that. So in my head when I have, and that's kind of the line construction I'm talking about. If we do go with that defensive shutdown 3rd line, then where does Mercer, Gritsuk, Dadonov fit in?
Yeah,
Cotter, Lamico, like is Lamico the 4th? Cotter's the 4th line center, and I don't know. Like that's what I'm talking about in terms of. Kind of feel like we don't have an extra forward, but we kind of do.
I think I said on the last show. I think I said, or 2 shows ago, I said we're one guy heavy, man. We gotta. Somebody has to that we're talking about right now can't be on this team. And the only time you put the lineups together, who do you end up leaving off?
Yeah,
it's either Mercer or Palat.
It's my biggest concern about saying we are ready and now we're serious is that I just feel like Fitzgerald lacks the conviction to make a really bold, hard choice managerial move, like losing an asset for nothing for the betterment of the team. I think there's something that pulls on him that says you can't. Like it's people like who have garage sales. Like stop trying to sell that shit for $1. You've had it for 10 years. Throw it
Tom
out.
Fitzgerald's a hoarder.
Yes, I don't care if I make that $1. I bought it for 10. I've had it for 10 years. Don't give me depreciation expense. Just get it off the books. And that's where I feel like he's missing that kind of like killer. Like look at Vegas, man. Vegas wants something, they go do it. That's it. They figure it out. Like we can't even get rid of a guy. Like come on.
I find that hard that you can't move Palat. And I can't see how you can't have a 3, even if let's say, because I see him in Anaheim, send him to Anaheim. That's a good spot for him, or Seattle.
Businesses eat mistakes all the time.
Yeah,
they come out and say didn't work out, our bad, multi-million-dollar mistake. We're gonna pivot and we're gonna fix it. I mean,
Look at
I
the
just don't
Cleveland
need- I don't know what the
Browns.
hope
They're
is.
saying goodbye to a $265 million fully guaranteed contract to a quarterback who couldn't keep his dick in his pants. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to, eat the shit that you throw at the wall. That's it. All right. Anything else you guys want to dabble on tonight? Tim, you look like you got something to say.
No, I just got a fucking essay of a text message. So
Oh, are you going to share or is this personal?
no, it's personal.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then we'll let you go and tend to your personal business. And we're going to bounce out of here, guys. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff on the YouTube channel. If you're listening to us on podcast form, which you can find us anywhere you get a podcast, a like, a 5-star review, a positive comment does surely help. The little podcast that could. We are the Uncle Puckers. I'm Chris with Bob and Tim. And we'll see you when we see you.
Bye-bye.
Fuck you, Valicat.
Oh, wait, hang on. Tell Valcat to fuck off again.
Fuck you, Valicat. Fuck you, Valicat. Fuck you, Valicat. You fucking smug, ugly, stupid fuck.
It's over, Johnny. It's over!